You know, I need to know. I need to know. You need to let me in. Your brain is like a safe, and I need to know your secrets. And I'm the most skilled extractor. If you really think about it, there's probably somebody you know in your life, especially if it's if you're talking to a guy, girl, whoever you're speaking with, and they may act like they know everything about the topic. And when it comes to sexual exploitation, if a predator notices that a victim is susceptible to that, they will constantly talk to them in that manner. This can also happen in a somewhat healthy relationship. You can be in a relationship with a person that's okay. They're not, necessarily abusive and doing all of those things that we see like on a Lifetime movie. However, they still may constantly press upon you their ideas. Well, you need to tell me everything. I need to know all about you. All of that. Yes, and as you get older and you get to a certain age, you'll realize what my auntie, what my grandma, what my mom said, she was right. You don't want to admit it then, but a lot of the times you realize that person was trying to put all these ideas into my head, and you realize that after you see a relationship, if whether you see it with friends or yourself, you think like, that's not even how I think. And you let them in. And so he's basically saying to them, like, I can do all of that, you just need to trust me to do it. So of course at the end of the clip, the man says, all right, well, y'all enjoy your evening. And he gets up from the table. It would be nice if we could all just get up from the table from somebody trying to put an idea in our heads, but we cannot always do that. And then a lot of times a person doesn't realize they have the power to do that, to excuse themselves out of the situation. So when it comes to sexual exploitation, what do you all think it is? Or if you could define it, what would you say that it is? Like if you find out that a 16-year-old girl was sexually exploited, what do you first think?
Someone pushed past their limits.
Someone pushed her past the limits? Okay. Limits how? Like what type of limits?
Their sexual limits.
Sexual limits, okay. Anything else? Come to mind. If someone sexually exploits a child that's 7 years old, what would you think? They did what to the child? Molesting. Okay, what did you say?
A predator. They're a predator.
They're a predator. Okay, so you might think they push someone past their limits sexually, whether or not they consented, or you might think that someone forced somebody to do something, right? All right, so the UN has a definition specifically for sexual exploitation. So there's sexual abuse, sexual exploitation. There's different levels to it, I would say. So the UN defines sexual exploitation as any actual attempted abuse of position or vulnerability, and it's when someone takes the power that they have over you, if you recognize that they have a power over you, and they use it for sexual purposes. So that could be, as I said before, it could be a boyfriend, it could also be a boss, it could be a teacher, it could be a big brother or big sister in a sorority or fraternity. I mean, it could be a whole gamut of things. Anybody that has a particular position, if they're trying to entice a person and say, well, I can get you this if you do this for me, they may push you, as you said, past your limit sexually and have a person doing something that they normally wouldn't be doing, but they're doing it because they respect that person's position. And then specifically, the person is going to profit monetarily off of it, socially or politically. So if they're going to get some type of respect from what they're doing, then that's sexual exploitation. For example, a lot of people will entertain the idea of, for lack of better terms, for lack of a better PC, politically correct term, I know people that have talked about this in their environment. I knew someone that grew up in Miami, Florida, and he said that a lot of the girls there would do a lot of things just to get respect. He talked about how sometimes girls would have a train ran on them because then they would be respected as being, well, she knows what she's doing, or she's not scared. Things of that nature. All the way to, yes, ma'am.
So, in saying that you said someone that has power over you, would that be in the positive? So, like, say even a father, father listens to his daughter. So she's gonna obey him because yes, that's her father. My father never would hurt me, kind of thing. her mindset.
Exactly.
So it would be whether it's a father or a stranger that try to break something. So it could be anybody. Oh, okay.
Well, what it is that sexual exploitation, there's normally some type of relationship, and the person that's in a proposed position of power is using their position to get the sexual act, and the sexual act might bring them power, influence, or money. So that's why they do it. And then the other thing is sometimes with sexual activity or sexual exploitation, a person may be exploited because their boyfriend, significant other, father, cousin, whoever it is, they're withholding something from them. Well, if you don't do this for me, you don't get any allowance. If you don't do this, you don't get the car. If you don't do this for me, you can't expect to get a good grade in this class. I mean, it could happen. You're not going to get that bonus for your job this month because you didn't do so-and-so for me. You can, I hate to say, you can turn on any Lifetime movie and probably find it.
Now, I do.
Or TV One or any of it. You can turn it on and you'll find it. All right, so right now, we're going to watch one more clip, the second clip. And